What's up, guys? Untitled here, and welcome to a review on Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. Now, this game came out for the 3DS. It was announced in the April Nintendo Direct, and is a completely free game to play, and it's a pretty fun game to play too. There are in-game purchases, and it is a bit hard to play the game without paying any money, but still is a good game overall. In my opinion, it is a bit hard of a Kirby game. I guess mainly because they want you to spend money to make the game easier for you, because it is a bit hard, like I said, without the buying some gem apples. But this game kind of reminds me of the other two games that are free, which are Pokemon Shuffle and especially Pokemon Picross, where they both are free to play. And it takes a long time if you don't spend anything to like unlock new levels and new content, and they really like kind of force you to buy, but you don't really have to buy. It's kind of optional, but it does make things a lot easier. In this game, you really buy gem apples, which are your currency, which you don't really get much of. You do get them from like achievements and leveling up and stuff like that. I think you also get some from like Street Pass. But yeah, if you run out of achievements though, you still get more by this gem apple tree that harvests apples every 12 hours. And it starts off with I think 5 apples per harvest. And the more gem apples you buy, the bigger your tree grows, and the more you can harvest every 12 hours. Which is a pretty cool concept. So you are kind of getting more gem apples by buying more gem apples. So it's a cool concept, making you kind of want to buy more gem apples to get more gem apples every 12 hours, which is a pretty unique concept, and I kind of like it. To be honest, I haven't spent any money yet. I probably won't. I am kind of almost done with the game. I've unlocked the tougher battles, which are the last battles, and yeah. So talking about the boss battles, most of these bosses you've seen in other Kirby games, like Blocky and Bonkers and Kracko and Wispy Woods. You have all those characters, and they're here. There are quite a few that do repeat themselves, like Bonkers, for instance. There's Bonkers, and there's Tough Bonkers, and there's Tougher Bonkers, which have more attack power, I'm guessing, and health. So it makes things just a little bit harder, and but gives you a lot more content in that way. So the bosses do get repeated, but they're not that bad. The bosses even get repeated too. Like there's a Tough Wispy Woods, there's a Tough Kracko and stuff like that. But yeah, as I said before though, this is a hard Kirby game. It you really are kind of on your own. But yeah, this game is based off of the mini game in Kirby Planet Robobot, which is called Team Kirby Clash, which was the original, and they kind of did the same thing with Triple Deluxe, where there's a Kirby Fighters Deluxe and also a DDD Drum Dash Deluxe, which were both mini games in Triple Deluxe. And so basically they're doing the same thing with Planet Robobot here, which I kind of like, because Team Kirby Clash was a pretty fun game, but in the one on Planet Robobot you only got to level 10. Here you can get up to level 50. And in here you can actually get different armor and different gear to make your character better, but that costs gem apples, which is kind of annoying. But it's one of the instances where they want you to buy gem apples. But I never really had a problem with the fragments, which you also get from the bosses. It's mainly the gem apples, and surprisingly you actually can't buy any fragments with gem apples, which I kind of find surprising, like I said. But yeah, the armor, they get increasingly better their rarity levels, and they cost more gem apples the better they are. But in order to get the higher rarity levels, you have to beat specific bosses or complete specific tasks. Like in order to get like rarity 2, or I think it might be actually rarity 4, you have to beat Wispy Woods, and once you do that, you will get rarity 4 armor unlocked in the shop. And later on, you will, I think once you beat the 4th boss, you get DX armor, which is basically a upgraded version of the armor that you already have. And those cost rare fragments plus gem apples, and a lot of gem apples, and it makes your stuff a lot better. Like even the rarity 1, which are like your beginner weapons, you can DX them, and they're actually better than your rarity 5 weapons, which is really good, but it costs 80 gem apples, which is a lot. And yeah, the rare fragments, they are basically just random drops from enemies. They'll pop up like in a bubble, and you have to destroy the bubble to get it. But there's actually easier ways to get them. You can actually get rare fragments by getting 999 of a certain fragment, and once you do that, you get 10 rare fragments, which is pretty good. You don't really need them that much though, because one rare fragment gets a DX armor. There are some armors where you need 3, and I think it increases even more, but I haven't gotten to it yet, so I don't really know. I only have a rarity 4 armor because I don't spend money on gem apples. So yeah, but what I've seen, it does cost a lot of gem apples to get the DX forms, and even to get the regular forms themselves. But you need to get the original gear in order to get the DX form. But yeah, also the annoying fact is that you have 4 players on your team. You have you and 3 other players. It's kind of recommended, or they kind of want you to do wireless battle where you can play with 3 other people, and by doing so you actually get 1.5 experience boost, which is really good. You can also do that by there's an orb that you can buy in the shop to increase your experience by 1.5 or times it by 1.5 for 30 minutes, but it costs I think like 50 gem apples for even one. But they do give you 2 of them for free, which is nice. They also give you 2 stamina potions and 2 attack potions, which also help out pretty good. But yeah, the CPUs, they're not really that good. Probably the worst one is the I would have to say the sword hero. He mainly just shields. I mean, sometimes he helps out, but most of the time he's not really doing work, and it's kind of annoying. Probably the best one is like the Dr. Healmore, which is the healer, and he heals your enemies and makes healing auras, which helps you out tremendously. And he knows like the exact time when to heal and when to attack, which I really like. He's probably the best one out of the 4 CPU classes. The hammer guy, he's okay, but I really don't like the sword hero that much as a CPU. The B mage is also pretty bad though. Whenever I play as a B mage, I at least freeze them where you can charge up your beam and you can freeze the enemy once you hit him a certain amount of times. And usually I freeze them about like 3 or 4 times, like a match. And the CPU, you'll be lucky if he freezes time at least once. So yeah. Also, I find there are these fragments that pop out once you get your enemy to your halfway point. They'll pop out randomly, and they're really annoying because it is literally random when it's gonna pop out. So the fragments could be popping out when he's about to die, and maybe you won't even get the final blow or the team meteor or whatever it's called. You probably won't even get it. You'll kill the enemy before, which is really annoying. But other times you'll get it like right away after getting him to the halfway point. It's just completely random. I heard though that if you do a lot of consecutive attacks, that it will make the team meteor fragments appear more frequently, which is good. But yeah, it's kind of annoying though. Like if you have a hammer lord, which are very slow, they take a long time to get over, and they also can't like fly over the enemy. So if like there's a fragment behind the enemy, it'll almost be impossible for the hammer lord to get the fragment. They'll have to wait till the enemy goes on the other side, or kind of, I guess, damage boost through it. But yeah, so there is a time limit for each boss battle. Usually it's 2.5 to 3 minutes, and it's a good amount of time. But if you're not prepared for it, and you don't have like good enough armor, or if you're not leveled up enough, then you won't be able to beat the enemy that well. And when you do run out of time though, you can spend, I think it's like 3 gem apples to get 30 more seconds, which is pretty nice. And it's where the gem apples come in. It's like, oh, I want to keep on playing, I'm almost about to beat him, and then you don't have gem apples, you have to go buy it. So yeah, it's kind of annoying in that sense. But yeah, leveling up is probably the best part about this game, is that you can keep grinding, and no matter if you spent a bunch of money on this game or if you spent not even a single penny, you can keep grinding and you can be level 50 at least whenever you want. So yeah, I mean, people who are gonna spend money are probably gonna level up a lot sooner, because they'll be able to go through all the enemies a lot quicker and get a lot more experience, while others will who don't spend money will probably have a tough time leveling up. But yeah, leveling up, you can level up to level 50 in this game, and you get a lot of stat increases by doing so, like a normal RPG. But like I said, in Planet Robobot, you can only level up to level 10, and in Planet Robobot, Team Kirby Clash, there was only really 5 levels, and there's only 5 bosses, and you can only go up to level 10. But yeah, it was kind of a game that you could finish in 20 minutes. But in this game, I'm already like 10 hours in, and I still haven't beaten the game. Probably still have another hour of gameplay, and that's not to mention all the grinding that I have to do. So yeah, there is a lot of grinding. I mean, like in any other RPG with leveling up, there is always grinding, so can't really escape it. But yeah, you do get rewarded for grinding. By doing so, you'll get gem apples, which will help you tremendously. And yeah, it really is a pretty good system. Like, unlike Pokemon Picross, where you kind of have to wait every day for like new I think they're like cubes or whatever, and then you have to keep doing that every day until you have enough to unlock the next area, especially if you beat all the achievements, which is pretty easy. But yeah, once you do that, you don't really have anything else to do. But in this game, you have a bunch of like battles to do that you can keep doing to level up and become stronger, so that you'll be ready when you have enough gem apples to buy the next level to basically beat it. And you can also always go back and try and get a perfect or get a platinum, because you do get ranked in this, where it's either bronze, silver, or gold or platinum. And that also affects the achievements, where the achievements will be like get a platinum here, or get a gold in this area, or get a gold with the sword hero outfit, stuff like that, which are pretty fun to do, and you do get gem apples for it. Also, another thing is that you can't keep on battling. That's kind of a more annoying part, where you actually have to spend gem apples if you want to keep battling, because you have like stamina. So the stamina, basically, it starts I think at 10, but once you level up, you keep increasing your stamina. And like mine right now is like 60, and I'm at level 30. So you keep increasing your stamina, which is pretty good, and every time you level up, you actually your stamina meter restores, which is also very good. And you can actually get some things in the shop so that you can decrease the amount of time for your stamina meter to increase. I think it's like 1 stamina is every 5 minutes, which isn't that bad, or I think it's actually 6 minutes. But then you can decrease it to 5, and then to 4, and then I think to 3, and I think even to 2. But I don't think there's anything after that. Maybe I'm wrong, but only I bought up to 4 minutes per stamina increase. So yeah. Also, the bosses take stamina. They don't take that much for the easier bosses, but as it goes on, the more stamina you have to use to fight the harder bosses. So it's kind of like Fire Emblem Heroes, where you have the same type of stamina meters in that way. And if you've played Fire Emblem Heroes, you know what I'm talking about. And but yeah, it was the original stamina meter in Fire Emblem Heroes, because I know there's an update where it has like 999 stamina, but I think you can actually get up to 99 stamina in this game if you level up to level 50 or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't really a big deal for me. I mean, usually I would just play, and then I would just play something else when I ran out of stamina. So it wasn't really a big deal. I would just pick it up here and there when I thought I had enough stamina to battle an enemy that I wanted to, and get some achievements to get gem apples. And the same thing goes with like buying levels. Is the same thing with stamina. Like the harder bosses cost a lot more gem apples to buy, while the easier ones cost like 5 gem apples, while the harder ones cost like 30. So yeah, there's a big gap difference, but you'll get more gem apples for the harder achievements, so you'll have more gem apples, so those more gem apples will be able to buy the levels. So it's not really that big of a problem that you'll have with the gem apples, and there's no real need to buy gem apples unless you are having trouble with your gear, which is very possible, because the gear that I have right now is like rarity 4 gear, while most people should have like rarity 6 gear. So, but I'm still going through because I'm at level 30. But we'll see when I reach level 50. I'll probably start buying gear, because that's the only way to get stronger for me. But yeah, I do like the music in this game, which is another thing. There's a lot of remixes, and the final boss music is actually pretty awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of remixes. There's a lot of good music in this game, and I really like it. And there's a lot of reoccurring bosses. Like you see some bosses from like Kirby Return to Dreamland. You see a bunch of bosses from like Kirby Triple Deluxe. You see a boss from like Kirby Planet Robot. And so there's a lot of different bosses in this game, which is pretty cool, and how all of them you can battle. So it's basically just a boss rush of a bunch of different characters. Also, another thing that I want to mention is that you can get some other characters. Like, you can have CPUs, but you can also have CPUs of other characters from online stuff. You can go online once a day, I think it is, and you will be able to have like some of the other guys who have better gear and maybe higher level to actually help you out, which is pretty good. And you can actually do it twice a day, but you have to pay 5 gem apples to do it a second time. So another reason to buy gem apples. But yeah, other than that, there really isn't anything else to say. It's a really great game. It's free to play, so you can play it right now if you want to. If you have a 3DS, I highly recommend it. But yeah, I do recommend though playing it with other people, because you do get 1.5 times experience, and the CPUs aren't the best. So yeah. thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews right here on Untitled Nick. Bye.